Welcome back to Cooking with Canines at Old Tavern Farm. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do a vegan chocolate cake. So it has no eggs, no butter, none of that stuff, but it's still delicious. So what I'd like to do is show you a finished product. So this is a finished cake that I did earlier today, and you can frost them any way you like, with vegan frosting or not, just powdered sugar, anything that you like. This recipe will also make cupcakes and muffins. So this is little brownie bites that I made. And then I also have a loaf back here too. So this cake is a little bit different, but it lends itself to everything that you want to do with a normal cake. So in this bowl, I have a cup of whole wheat flour, a cup of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, and a teaspoon of baking soda. So that's in one bowl. This is a muffin method, which means you basically take your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients, you combine them in 2 separate bowls, and then you mix them together all at once. So what a muffin mix typically is what we call a chemical leavening. So we're getting our lift not from eggs, not from creaming your butter or anything like that. We're actually getting our lift from a chemical reaction. One of the liquid ingredients in this recipe is vinegar. So vinegar and baking soda react. You've seen that sort of experiment that we all did in the 3rd grade or whenever you did it. I'm just breaking up my brown sugar a little bit in here. Okay. So mix your dry ingredients and get them sort of incorporated. And so if your brown sugar gets lumpy like this, just take it and rub it between your fingers. Nobody's gonna care. Because when you're alone in the kitchen, who's to know? All right, so we're gonna take our wet ingredients. I have here a cup of oil. This is my recipe, by the way. This is what our recipes look like in the business, people. I'm not kidding, it's true. We have here a cup, 1 cup of oil and 2 cups of milk and a teaspoon of vanilla, okay? Now the milk I'm using is soy milk. So you can use soy milk, you can use, actually I'm gonna switch this over to this bigger bowl. You can use soy milk, you can use nut milk, you can use rice milk. Soy milk tends to typically be more widely available in my neck of the woods. So that's what I use. Okay. Now I forgot to tell you that there's actually a half a cup of cocoa powder in here too. So cocoa powder I use a lot when I was working in an allergy-free kitchen because a lot of chocolate chips have milk solids in them, and there are people who are allergic to milk products. So cocoa powder works for everything. The only thing is, working with cocoa powder, you have to be a little bit, excuse me, I just had to step over to my sink for a minute. You have to be a little bit aware of how much liquid you're putting in. Cocoa powder will dry things up in your batters and your mixes. So you just have to be aware of that. If you have a recipe that doesn't use a lot of liquid and it's got cocoa powder in it, I'd be just a little suspicious of that. But now you know, so you can fix it. Just add a little more liquid. Okay, I'm gonna add in my vinegar. I tend to reserve my vinegar towards the end just because with some milks or creams, it can curdle. Usually with plant milks, it doesn't do that. It's just a habit I have, so keep it separate until the last minute. Okay, so here's my batter. Nice, and it's very loose. It's a loose batter, but don't worry, it'll come out fine. I have a commercial cake pan here and our old friend parchment. So one thing to remember with these deep pans, these are great, but sometimes the stuff will stick in the bottom, okay? So I have already sprayed, but I am still gonna put parchment in the bottom. And all I'm doing is just folding and making a point like this with my parchment. And I'm going to flip my pan and just get an idea of where the center is right here and make a little mark. And what I'm doing is just making what we call in the business a cake circle. So, I don't know why I put those scissors back over there because I got to cut this. But I just made a mark on the of where the outside of the pan lays. And then I unfold and I have a cake circle. And I'm just going to lay this right in the bottom of my pan. It doesn't have to be perfect. All it's doing is helping you release the cake from the pan when it comes out of the oven, because sometimes these deep pans like to hold on to things. Okay, so there it is in the bottom of my pan. All right, I'm just gonna pour that right into my pan. This is the easiest cake you'll ever make, I'm telling you. And it's vegan, and it's good. Now that batter looks very light, but as you can see from the finished product, it comes out really nice and dark. So fear not. All right, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put this in a 350-degree oven for 50 minutes. And then once you touch the top and it springs back, it's done, but it should be more than done in 50 minutes at 350. So just a quick video for a lovely afternoon. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Thank you for visiting. Virtual hug, 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 hug. Bye-bye.